You are now flying over Portugal, in the city Vilar Formoso. Right here on the border to Spain, an important part of our shared European history took place. In this film, you will meet Cookie Fisher, a descendant from the survivors of Holocaust. But first, here on the border, you will visit the memorial and museum of people escaping to Portugal. Let's meet our guide, Fatima.
Welcome to Portugal, welcome to Vilar Formoso, one of the biggest borders in Portugal. Here next to me is the railway station where so many refugees in the Second World War came. Here behind me, the memorial, the museum dedicated to the refugees of the Second World War. So let's take a look inside. So now we're inside the museum, and this is the first room. It's called People Like Us. We start with these people that were just like us, and suddenly the nightmare begins. So now we're in the beginning of the nightmare. The Jews have no rights. They cannot marry, they cannot have pensions, they cannot live a normal life. The human rights for the Jews are all left out. And this, of course, you could see here all the propaganda that is made to explain what the Jews could or could not do. They had to use a star so that it would identify that they were Jews. Imagine what these people was going through their heads. So this, we could see that is a different map. So those who are continuing their journeys, we could see where they would flee, where they would try to escape to all these countries. And here we have Portugal. And the others, we had the concentration camps. Here we have where they would escape, the other countries where they would try to find freedom. In 1939 to 1940, there were about 40 refugees per day. After that, and because of our consul, Aristides de Sousa Mendes, there were 2,000 refugees a day here that would pass the border here in Vilar Formoso. As you know, Vilar Formoso was a very small town. It did not have anything. It didn't have hotels, it didn't have restaurants. So the people here would come to the railway station and would offer food, clothes, water. They would try to help them in any way they could so that they would feel a little more comfortable after a stressful journey that they had.
You are now flying over the home of Aristides de Sousa Mendes. He was a diplomat that gave visas to thousands of refugees so they could escape from Holocaust. Right now, in his home, that is now a museum, you will meet Cookie Fisher, a descendant to Holocaust survivors.
Hello, my name is Cookie Fisher. I'd like to welcome you to the Museum Aristides Sousa Mendes in Cabanas de Viriato. And I'd like to share my mother's story of how she escaped Europe in June of 1940. My mother, Adele van den Berg, was born in the Netherlands, in Amsterdam, and in 1939 she had completed her studies at the ULB Université Libre de Bruxelles. The situation was very dire, and she was working with the Belgian Red Cross, and she understood that she had to escape. Her family was in Nice. I'd like to show you a picture of her family on the balcony of their home in Nice. My mother, her Opa, her grandfather, her grandmother, Opa's two brothers, and his wife. This was the last picture taken of the family together probably in April 1940. While she was in Nice, she gathered with her family. Her parents had stayed in the Netherlands with her uncles and her cousins and her grandparents, and they took 4 cars and drove all the way from Nice and arrived in Bayonne. In Bayonne, they didn't have any way to escape. So they had leased a ship called the Milena. This is my mother's passport. It's a Dutch passport, and her signature. And this is the visa that was issued by Aristide Sousa Mendes. This whole story has to do with a man who had an active conscience, who decided to save thousands of people. So they have a ship, they now have a visa. But what happens? The ship arrives in Bayonne. This is the sardine schooner. It's a schooner that had only carried sardines and bacalhau cod, and it arrived full of sardines. So on the night of the 21st, with their visas in hand, they had to wait in Bayonne to have the sardines discharged. The next day, they sailed for Porto. And they arrived, my mother wrote a diary that is an amazing emotional journal. And this is when they arrive in Porto and are exiting into Porto on the 2nd of July. This is her identification in Portugal. Here are the names of my mother, Adele Margaretha van den Berg, her cousin, Jeannette. I'm also named Jeannette after my grandmother. Max van den Berg, also cousin. Simon van den Berg, her uncle. Sonia, his wife. They all traveled together with Tamara van den Berg. Thank you for listening to my story. And please tell your stories. Thank you.